The freezing wind howled across the tundra plains of Crixus 4, a newly colonized planet light-years from Earth. Ethan Cole zipped his thermal jacket higher up his neck and adjusted the straps of the portable heater inside his small expedition tent. The mission was simple: scan for subterranean minerals, take samples, and report back to base in 3 days. The snowstorm had arrived a day early, cutting him off from communications. Still, he was used to isolation, had been ever since he left Earth. That was, until something knocked against the side of his tent. Startled, Ethan froze mid-bite of his protein bar. The sound came again, soft but distinct. Not the wind. Not an animal. Something, deliberate. Cautiously, he unzipped the flap and peered into the swirling storm. His heart jumped. There, hunched and shivering in the snow, was a girl. She wasn't human. Her skin shimmered like glass flecked with silver, translucent but firm. Her eyes, oversized and deep violet, locked onto his. Thin, elongated limbs shook violently from cold. She wore nothing but tattered fabric barely clinging to her frame, now crusted with ice. Without thinking, Ethan reached out. "Come inside. Quickly." She hesitated. One more gust and she collapsed face-first into the snow. "Damn it." Ethan rushed forward, scooped her up, surprisingly light, and brought her inside. He zipped the tent shut, switched the heater to full power, and pulled an emergency blanket from his pack. Her fingers twitched as he wrapped it around her. "You're gonna be okay," he said, unsure if she even understood English. "Just need to get your core temperature up." She blinked slowly. Her lips moved. Warm." Ethan did a double take. "You speak English?" She nodded weakly. "Translator, Chip." Her voice was soft and melodic, but strained, like a violin played on broken strings. "I'm Ethan," he said. "What's your name?" She paused, then answered, "Zyla." Her skin began to glow faintly under the thermal blanket, pale cyan hues blooming along her cheekbones and collar. Ethan wasn't sure if that meant good or bad. "How long were you out there?" She looked toward the tent wall, toward the storm. "Since dawn." "That's 8 hours ago," he muttered. "You should be dead." Zyla met his eyes. "Almost was." He handed her a pouch of heated electrolyte water. She sniffed it first, then drank. Her fingers steadied. "I didn't think anyone else lived this far north," Ethan said. "Your species. I've never seen anyone like you on base or in the research reports." "I'm not supposed to be seen," she replied. Silence stretched. The storm raged louder outside. "Are you in trouble?" Ethan asked. Zyla's violet eyes darkened. "Hunters." He sat up straighter. "As in, people hunting you?" She nodded slowly. "Why?" "My kind are rare. We were wiped out during the first contact wars. What remains of us lives in hiding." Ethan remembered reading about that war, an early and violent encounter between Earth's exploration fleets and native civilizations. Many misunderstandings. Too many casualties. "But you're not hostile," he said. "I'm just trying to survive." Another silence passed. Then, her hand reached toward his, thin fingers resting lightly on his knuckles. "Thank you for letting me in." He felt a pulse of warmth. Her glow intensified slightly, like bioluminescence responding to touch. "It's nothing," Ethan said, though his voice betrayed the growing tightness in his chest. "I couldn't just leave you out there." She stared at him for a long time, then whispered, "You're not like the others." By nightfall, the storm began to settle. Zyla sat upright now, her glow steadier, body wrapped in spare thermal gear Ethan had reluctantly cut to fit her shape. Over cups of rehydrated soup, they spoke. Zyla told him of the forest she once lived in, vast groves of silver-leaf trees and glowing rivers. Of her people's abilities, subtle empathy, the ability to sense emotional resonance. Her kind were not telepathic, but deeply in tune with feelings, intentions. It made betrayal all the more painful, she explained, when the humans came with fire and steel. Ethan shared his own story, an orphan child of Earth's overcrowded lower sectors, who clawed his way through engineering school to earn a spot in the off-world colonies. He hadn't spoken this much to anyone in years. But with Zyla, it felt natural. She listened without judgment, her gaze soft and absorbing. "Why do you live alone?" she asked at one point. He shrugged. "People tire me. Or maybe I tire them." She tilted her head. "You don't tire me." For a moment, the air thickened, charged with something unspoken. Ethan cleared his throat. "Once the storm clears, I can get you to base. Somewhere safe." Her expression faltered. "I can't go to your base. They'll scan me, tag me, lock me in a containment cell." "They're not all like that." Zyla looked away. "Enough are." He frowned, conflicted. "Then what will you do?" "I'll go north. Into the mountains. There are caves. Old shelters. You won't survive the next blizzard alone." Zyla looked back at him. "Then come with me." The next morning, Ethan woke to silence. The storm had passed. Sunlight filtered through the ice-laced tent roof. He turned, but Zyla was gone. Panic spiked. He scrambled into his boots, threw on his coat, and burst from the tent. Tracks small, light footprints in the snow, already being swallowed by the wind. He followed them, heart pounding. He found her 50 meters away, standing at the edge of a cliff that overlooked the endless white plains of Crixus 4. The wind played with the edges of her cloak. "You left," he said, breathless. "I didn't want you to have to choose." Ethan stepped beside her. "But I already did." She turned to face him, her expression unreadable. "And?" He reached out, gently taking her hand. "I'm not going back to base," he said. "Not without you." For the first time, Zyla smiled. Not small, not cautious, but full, radiant, and warm. Her glow surged with color, violet, blue, silver, gold, like a sunrise in motion. "You're sure?" she whispered. "Completely." 2 weeks later, a search drone found Ethan's abandoned tent. No sign of struggle. Just an inactive heater, an empty soup pouch, and 2 sets of footprints leading into the northern wilds. No one ever found him. But in the high caves of Crixus 4, beyond reach of satellites and patrol drones, a campfire burned quietly each night. And 2 silhouettes sat beside it, one human, one not, sharing warmth not just from fire, but from the bond they chose to build far from fear, far from war. They were not alone anymore. And that made all the difference. The end.